My office space is kind of a mess and I need to clean it up and get through it. While my testing station up top looks a little better, on the ground there's still lots of cables and computers. My desk is an absolute mess. But I don't think I even showed anyone on here that I got a new desk, or what I had to do to get it up here.
Oh, no, don't tell me I don't have audio. There's audio. Hi, everyone. Can someone let me know if they can hear me? And I forgot to hit the high latent or low latency, so there is a little delay of me talking and when I'll actually see it go live or you hear it. So all right, got a confirmation from nobody. And no, that's not a dig. It is user nobody23 and Froggy T White. Both say they can hear me. All right, cool. So, all right. This live is going to be over some random stuff because, well, life is changing and just kind of the way it goes. So during my first live view, I admitted that I had just retired from the Air Force. Well, I'm still retired from the Air Force, but I have a job that will be starting really soon. So I won't be able to concentrate as much on some of the random projects I do, but I'm still going to do them. And here's my goal is going to be probably 2 videos a month and maybe 1 live view a month. I'm not exactly certain. Yeah, it is a real big delay, and that's part of the reason why I do a low latency, and I can't change it now that the stream has started. But yes, I did get the retirement stuff figured out. It took about a week, but we got it all straightened, and they didn't interrupt my retirement pay or anything like that. So medical is all taken care of and all that stuff too. So thank you for asking. Another big change for the channel, we're going to talk about branding. When I changed my YouTube name to Not Terrible by Goodmonkey, I didn't really think about the identity or anything like that. And so Finn here, he's probably going to be going away here pretty soon. But as we try to focus on an actual, some sort of brand, I don't know. I mean, it is an adventure, and that's part of the reason why I brought Finn into it, because of Adventure Time. But yeah, so there we are. The updates on the channel are I'm just not getting things out there as fast as I want. And sometimes that is my own fault. Sometimes that is fault of equipment. Sometimes it is big life events. And there's other times where I just lose stuff. And it just doesn't go the way I want to. Last week, I had done a live opening up of a product that I had bought for review and then never completed the review on. So tonight I wanted to show you at least 2 other things that I bought and was planning on doing a review, but never got around to it. And as my lovely wife pointed out, I still could, and she is absolutely right. But the first one we're going to talk about is the Dream Quest. Now, the Dream Quest is a computer that was different from the rest of them I was looking at. It is running a Celeron N5105, has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and this one has a 256 gigabyte SSD inside. But it came with dual Ethernet jacks and 3 HDMI outputs, and I got it for under $200. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it. If I do a review, that'll be one of the subject pieces of it. And it also has 4 USB 3.0 ports and a micro SD card slot. And the body itself seems to be metal. And it's called the Dream Quest Pro. And there's no other model name like GK or AK or anything like that. So they just call it the Dream Quest Pro, and it is actually made by SZ Reaching Tech Limited in China. So one of these days I might finish the review on it. Performance-wise, I was a little disappointed that both of the B-Link machines I had, they perform better than this. And so I think that's part of the reason why I set it aside. But I am still interested in it always because of the 2 Ethernet ports, because of using these little devices for firewalls. So that's the story on this one. And I'm going to go over to the chat so I can say hello to some people, and then we'll go on with the next one. Nobody 23. I wouldn't say that it is your fault that I don't get this stuff done. I know we talk on the phone sometimes, but no, that is not the problem. TVJ, it's so great to see you here. I'm sorry sometimes I don't get into your live events anymore, but I do try, and I'm sure my cat would love to see you again too. She's currently over at the window trying to attack a frog. Come here. One time I'll let you come to the computer on the table. So yeah, there's the cat. She does like watching YouTube videos.
Go back to your frog.
Okay. So Carrie Halsman, thank you. I'm really glad that someone else is enjoying the content. For me, it's fun to make. And, my bar, I think I keep it pretty low, just as long as it's not terrible. That's really what I'm going for. Though I do have some things I hold to, like I want to be informative, but not negative. So I don't want to go out and bash anyone just because that's not my style. I don't want people to bash me if I get something wrong. Hey, you did something wrong. Cool, we'll correct it. Going back to work so soon is, well, my retirement from the military is, what would we say, about 33% of what I would normally bring home, 33, 25, something like that. So the lifestyle that we're used to, that's part of the reason for going back so soon. Also, it was available. It is working in IT, which is something that I really wanted to do. If you can't tell, I have fun with computers. Mm-hmm. So I'll actually go and get paid to play with computers. So it's funny you mentioned a PF Sense box. It probably would work pretty well. One of the things I don't remember is what network chips it has in it. The PF Sense, from what I have read, has some problems with Realtek chips. And interestingly enough, the first PF Sense I built was out of another mini PC. It was the Byte Nook, the one that had the blue cover on top. And it ran okay for a couple of weeks and then would just go out. Like I'd have to do a physical restart. And looking at the logs, it was something about the interfaces were going up and down, up and down, up and down. So instead of really troubleshooting and trying to figure out what was wrong, I had bought this thing right here and decided to go ahead and put this in service. Now, this is a very interesting one because this is the only one that I have bought off of AliExpress. The rest of them have come through Amazon, with the exception of the Blackview MP60, which they sent directly to me. But this one right here is advertised as, a soft firewall router. And if you were to go over to Serve the Home, they probably have several of these here that they're raving about. When I ordered it with a copy of Windows. I figured that would be good for testing. This is the only machine that I have gotten that had a virus on it, straight from the seller. So the other ones have had very questionable settings, like you need administrator access to run some of the benchmarks that I do. So I expect the pop-up saying, hey, this needs administrator access, and that doesn't happen. So some of those I say are suspect, and that's one of the reasons why I recommend reinstalling Windows on pretty much anything you buy. But during the testing, Microsoft Defender flagged that there was a virus on it. So I said, let's nuke that real quick. So I went ahead and installed PF Sense on it. and it ran perfectly for about 2 weeks and then just died. I cannot figure out what is wrong with it. It still pulls 23 watts from the wall, but there's no sign of life. It is not the storage. It is not the RAM. I am going to say ESD damage or something else. Maybe a self-destruct. I don't know. But I have been wary of actually buying another one of these. And the reason I went through AliExpress instead of Amazon is because I could get these for about $100 cheaper. So, yeah, this experiment didn't last very long. All right, so looking over at the comments, yeah, going back to work probably will help keep me out of trouble. Also, if I like buying little machines like these, I actually might be able to, because Amazon affiliates is great, but it doesn't pay enough. Or YouTube, the AdSense stuff, it doesn't quite pay enough to actually keep this hobby going. So
share the channel.
So yeah, if you haven't already, if you could go ahead and give the video a like, share the channel if you have someone that you think would like the content, or just play it on auto somewhere or something. Get me some more views. Let's see, Circuit the Fox. So the generic PC, the AK2, I think it was, yes, it is still sitting around. All the mini PCs are actually sitting, waiting for me to do something with exception of one, and that is the B-Link U59 Pro. Because this died as a pfSense box, the U59 Pro is the one now that is acting as the pfSense firewall for our house. And on that, I switched everything over here at the house to the same network stuff I had in Alaska. So I'm using a pfSense firewall, and then for the Wi-Fi, I'm using the TP-Link EAP 610. So that's been running for about 2 weeks for everyone. I've been running about 2 months for myself, but I switched everyone's Wi-Fi and everything over to it. I haven't gone crazy on VLANs yet. I'm planning to, but so yeah, that's the only one that's currently in use. I could do some kind of weird stuff with all these, like, what is it that Radal uses? I'll think about it in a minute, but he does some weird stuff with, a bunch of little computers. Untangle? No, Froggy T White, I have not tried Untangle. I'll have to look into that one. Circuit the Fox agreed on reinstalling the OS on computers from questionable sources online. I would probably include that with Dell, HP, Lenovo, Asus, any of them. You can just basically start from scratch immediately. And it's really not hard, with the exception of some of these other machines that you don't know where the drivers come from. But all those other manufacturers, they have the driver packs on their website. So it's real easy to just say, you know what, I don't want that PC health checker program and anything like that. And so you can just wipe it out. That is, of course, unless HP is, out there listening, then HP, you're fine. Please send me one of your Z machines for me to use. That would be great. Thank you. External GPU? No, I've seen that. Probably the biggest problem is no active M.2 slot for NVMe. A lot of them, like this or the ByteNook, hey, look, I got it here. They use a SATA interface on the M.2 slot, so you don't have direct PCIe access. Some of them do, like the the B-Link Mini S12 I just got. It does have a PCIe M.2 slot, though it is, like we've discussed, kind of slow, and that would be where I think about using an external GPU. These are both kind of metal. Who's this made by? It doesn't say. And this one is missing a foot. Somewhere in my move, it missed a foot, and now it wobbles. So that's why I'm not using that one. Another project I'm thinking about doing is looking at these guys. Now, I know Serve the Home has done a lot with them. Their project Tiny Mini Micro, but I have a few Elite desks now. I've got the G2, the G3, and this is the G4. And like I did with the small form factor ones, I could probably write up something, maybe make it a little bit shorter with some better graphs. And I think that right there is one of the future projects I have. So did anyone get to see the intro before I actually bought the camera online? Did any of it make sense? Was it good? What did you think of the music? If anyone was there waiting on it. Yeah, so these little small form or the little mini PCs here, they are pretty interesting, especially if you get the ones like this one that can actually take a 65-watt TDP processor. My only issue, really, other than I need more drive space most of the time, is the amount of noise they make. Even at idle, that little blower makes more noise than I want to deal with. That is obviously if it's on the desk. If you were talking like across the living room in a cabinet or something like that, it probably wouldn't matter too much. Yeah, Jellyfin server for any of these would actually be okay. I've tried MB and it worked okay. The big thing with MB is you don't have to do a lot of transcoding if the source material that you're looking at is compatible with the streaming device, as long as the settings are set up right. I ran into a problem with some of my bigger test files. The default MB settings were for anything over 35 megabits per second to be transcoded down, and I had some that were over 100 megabits per second. Once I bumped that up, the stream went okay. That was talking like from my Odroid C4. So that's really where I was looking at the possibility of using something small like this to run as a media server. The biggest thing, of course, would be the amount of storage. And since I don't have, a big networked storinator or anything like that, I'm not going to go quite that far. But that does lead me to another project I'm working on. Okay, so yeah, putting an external hard drive on it wouldn't be that hard. You could probably duct tape them together too, honestly, or do something a little bit more elegant. Yeah, I've seen some of the externals like 10 or 14 terabyte that I've thought about using for backups, but something like that, um, with your movie collection on it or TV show collection or whatever, would work just fine. A lot of the experiments with MB actually have been my own videos. Some of them have been like videos for the family and stuff like that while I was away in Alaska. Okay, so why did I have files encoded over 100 megabits per second? Um, just playing around. Um, duct tape, duct tape can be elegant. So
Fixes everything.
duct tape fixes everything. If you
That
can't,
and popsicle sticks.
that and well, my wife said popsicle sticks, but I think it's baling wire or something. Anyways, the reason I had files encoded so large was when I first got into YouTube, I was just using, a phone, and that was my device for recording everything. Well, I soon upgraded to Canon cameras. Unfortunately, I don't have one right here, the remote for controlling this one. But so some of the videos I did in 2020 were showing what those could look like together. Like one I stitched together in 4K, and that's 4K at 60 FPS is one of my. It's posted to YouTube, and I actually use that in my testing of little machines like this to say, what is YouTube like with it. But some of those, just upping settings and seeing what could happen. And once I found out that I don't need to be doing anything that good of quality, mainly because the cameras couldn't put out anything that good of quality either. I don't really do that anymore, so I still have some files that are very large that I just use for testing. I really should have selected low latency because I can answer a question and they don't hear it for a good 20 seconds or so, something like that.
Mhm.
If only duct tape could fix this. Hmm. Yes, very true. A lot of the cameras I was working with really couldn't put out anything higher bit rate wise than say maybe 35 megabits per second. I think uh, the camera I'm shooting on right now, of course, the bit rate is turned down for live, and it's going through a small USB capture device, but it's capable of recording 50 megabits per second. I think it's a Canon Vixia HFG30. So just a 1080p camera, but it actually works pretty good. And the reason I use that a lot is because of its wide angle. So in something like this, you can actually see more instead of only, something like this with something else like my Panasonic that can do 4K. Yeah, TVJ, I've seen that we had some issues one time viewing you at low latency. So here, like we talked about, I have some faster internet speeds than you do. And so low latency I wanted to do, but tonight I was not thinking about it when I hit the go live button until I was, watching the delays of everything and like, oh, okay. So for a capture device, this is recent. Let's see if I can get it in the shot. Ooh, nope, nope, it's not gonna work. Maybe if I zoom out. Haha. And it hit some keys on the keyboard. No. And my mouse is tripping out. Oh no. What are we doing? All right, so this right here is the video capture device for tonight. It's, I don't know, like a $12 device or something like that. I got it off of Amazon, just thinking about evaluating it. And for something like this, where I'm just outputting the camera straight into OBS, it works pretty good. I've got another small USB powered capture device that has a pass-through that I've used before, but I've got it set up with my computer upstairs where I have my desktop and actually the little TV stand that I test computers on. Okay, so Circuit the Fox wanted to know about the experience with Linux as a desktop. Let's see, how can I say that went? Not as bad as the last 2 years when I did it. The biggest issue I had with Linux this time was actually trying to make videos. And that whole reason is because of when I rebuilt my home server, the idea was to store videos there and then edit in KDN Live. Well, KDN Live didn't like using a non-local source. I was using an SMB share. If I had set it up in FS, I'm not sure if it would have worked better, but it just, I never went that far with it. There were other issues too, like the graphs that not graphs, why do I keep on calling them graphs? The tables that I use, I actually build in a spreadsheet, copy them into Inkscape so I can scale them right and get the colors the way I want. Then I export that as a 1080p sized PNG for ingesting into the video for editing. Inside of Linux, it would copy that as an image. Because it was a bitmap image, it obviously couldn't scale. Inside of Windows, I can take that from the spreadsheet and paste it into Inkscape, and it takes it as text, so it becomes scalable vector. It becomes a SCV image, and it just knows the coordinates, so you can hold it, lock the aspect ratio, and then pull it, and it will make it bigger, smaller, whatever, change the background color all at one time. So those were my main issues, other than did I have any problem? I don't think I had any problems with audio this time. Previously, I'd had some really large problems with audio because of Pulse Audio, and then me trying to use an equalizer to get some better sound quality out of it. Because the music I listen to is mostly local, and I've listened to it for years, so I know what I think it should sound like. Going on to Linux, it doesn't have the same body that I'm used to under Windows, and that's regardless of the PC I'm using. So I've tried it on my Dell desktops, both a was it an Inspiron desktop and then my XPS desktop. Both, they had issues where the whole system would just lock up and trying to enhance the audio. And that was always very frustrating. And especially as a creator, if you're trying to do anything and the system locks up and you can't access anything with the kernel over SSH or do anything, you just basically pull the power and restart. That was frustrating. But Linux as a desktop, I've played with it over, what year are we in now? 23. I started in 2000. So I've played with the Linux as a desktop off and on for those 23-ish years. And also, as my wife just pointed out, fun fact, she's played with Linux for more than 10 years too.
She's not on IT.
All right, so Froggy T White on branding. I've had a few thoughts. I've run some things through Fiverr. Is it Fiverr? Fiverr. So I've run a few things through Fiverr, and I like some of the ideas, but I'm not ready to commit to any of those. I'm thinking about hiring somebody to take some of my input and say, "Hey, make something for me." I think we're going to stick with Not Terrible by Goodmonkey for the name instead of going back to Not Terrible Tech or Not Terrible or Good Monkey Beta or anything like that, because I can't be Good Monkey Prime because there was a Good Monkey before me on YouTube. Let's see. Oh, I'm just catching up. Yeah, previously I've done all my video editing on Linux locally, so this was a new problem for me. So I would copy files from my camera onto the server, then take those files, copy them back to the local machine, and knowing this was going to be a temporary experience, it didn't gel very well with the new setup I was trying to get to with editing. Let's see, Froggy T White. Not sure if you follow Level 1 Tech. Window on there had an interesting video the other day about cheap used AMD server video cards that can be used for home AI systems. I've seen some of their stuff, but I haven't looked at anything recently. That has been one of the issues. I'm not consuming as much YouTube now as I was before, and being able to focus and have some goals for the channel, I think, will allow me to do some more research and actually be able to enjoy looking at some content as well. All right. Circuit the Fox. Yeah, Kubuntu was what I was using one time. I think I had went straight Debian and had issues too. So I don't know if it was Ubuntu or Debian's fault or my fault for trying to get decent audio out of a general purpose desktop. So that could have been the issue. If I had went with something like Ubuntu Studio or something like that, I may have been able to have better luck. Yeah, so Linux, I really wanted to go over to Linux because of issues with installing Windows and pricing of Windows. And then Windows 10 happened. And we got this free upgrade from Windows 7, and that had never happened before. And then I found out you buy stuff like this, and then you install Windows and activate it, and it works. So I can buy a system for less than $100, not this one specifically, but you can buy systems for less than $100 that'll run Windows 11 and activate with Windows 11 Professional. That's probably some sort of gray area, but as Linus Tech Tips has pointed out, basically Windows is just, they don't care anymore and they're giving away for free. I don't completely believe that, but they have made it a lot easier for someone like me to be able to do this. When I built a computer for my wife recently, it activated no problem. It was a used motherboard, but I did use a product key I've had for a long time to upgrade it to Windows 11 Pro from home. So that's another project that I have all the video files for that I could put together and post, and it could be kind of interesting to see. All right, TVJ asked where Goodmonkey comes from. Well, I guess we can consider that another failed project. If anyone remembers the subscriber drive that I did late last year, and I said if I got over 1,000 subscribers, we'd go into that, and then 2,000, we'd send Ronald Cheeseburg out to the park. Well, I got away from cartoons, so I never finished that story. So Goodmonkey is basically my radio call sign from when I was in my technical training for the Air Force. One night, this is how this came about, and it just seems so simple. One night after a GI party, and that's where we on Sundays we would form up and then break up and clean all the dorms. We all had assigned duties, but once you were done, it was kind of free reign until lights out. So what people would do a lot of times is order pizza. A buddy of mine, he ordered pizza, and he had to go do something else. He's like, dude, will you watch my pizza? Yeah, sure, no problem. So I sat out there on the loading dock, talked to people, whatever. And when he got back, I'm like, dude, I watched your pizza. Nothing happened. He's like, oh, you're such a good monkey. So a couple of weeks later, when we had to have call signs to do radio checks, that was mine. And so I started using Goodmonkey as my call sign for that, for CB, used it online for usernames. And when I signed up for YouTube before the Gmail integration back in 07 or whenever, again, Goodmonkey. So when I was changing the channel name around and trying to throw around ideas on my personal Facebook, it's just Not Terrible by Goodmonkey came around, because whenever anyone asks how I am for the last 5 or 6 years now, I've just said not terrible.
What does your wife say?
And my wife, she says that she's living the dream.
And I've been doing that since early 2020, before COVID started.
All right, Froggy T. White, you've been fiddling around. Fascinating what you can do with different AI models. So yeah, my wife has actually played around with some for writing job descriptions and stuff like that.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, she's had all types of fun with it, and I have begrudgingly stayed away. So another thing I think I'm going to do with my videos is no longer open up with the video isn't sponsored, because I think now technically that I have ad revenue coming from it, it is sponsored.
No.
My wife says no, but anyways, I think I'm going to skip from that and just go to, this video was written without the aid of AI. It's a simple human using Notepad. Please excuse the errors. So something like that, I think, is what I'm going to have to start opening with. Yeah, thanks. The story, like I said, it's really not anything that crazy, but that's where Goodmonkey comes from. And Not Terrible was because of some bad work conditions, and I couldn't say that I was good anymore, so I said I'm not terrible, and it has stuck. Yes, CWO, Goodmonkey is a good monkey. But is Goodmonkey a monkey? That's the question.
Yes.
Okay, we've been going for about 40 minutes, so I guess we should probably get into the opening up of things. So I'm going to have to move a few things, but I won't throw them because I don't want to have to repair the floor. Okay, let's get the camera, zoom out a little bit. Are we all monkeys? I don't know. They say we evolved from a similar ancestor, so I don't know if we're actually monkeys. All right, ready for it? This video is not sponsored. However, my wife did buy some random crap for me to look at.
This is very true. Absolutely, yeah.
So another failed project. This is a theme. The $99 Lenovo that my wife bought for me to review, I think I freaked out when I got to the power measurements and realized I've never thought about how long a battery lasts or anything like that. And I had an experiment to try and that failed. So I don't have a clear answer on that. But if I look somewhere, I have files to say this is what the performance was. But this right here is an upgrade to that one. That was a dual core Celeron. This is a 4-core Celeron, and it was $169, I think. So let's open it up and take a look real quick.
No, I don't think it was worth that much.
You don't think it was?
I'll look and see.
All right, she's going to look up and see what the price was. It's been a few months. It was another one of those specials, and she's like, ooh. I mean, so I'm not the only one that gets excited and buys computers randomly.
No, but when I buy them, they typically are more in the thousands. So I like being able to find cheap deals for you. It makes me feel a lot better about when I want a new one.
Yeah. All right. You gotta love computers when they come with big red stickers. Power supply doesn't want to come out. No. You gotta take that out. All right. Power supply. Another piece of cardboard. And did I say celery? Did I say 4-core celery?
No, I heard Celeron.
Celeron? Better stay away from slick deals then? Slick deals.
Don't go giving him ideas.
No, I need I'm bad enough on eBay. Y'all haven't seen the other 2 computers I bought in the last week.
You bought 2 more?
And a motherboard. And some memory.
I was going to say, where's the memory? That was my next question.
It came in. I haven't bought any more processors. I've got enough processors. That's why I'm buying the computers that don't have them. So anyways,
I can't.
USB. What the heck is that?
Ooh,
That's a non-standard power connector. I would expect USB-C or something. So it comes with a 45-watt power supply. Let's open it up. Okay, so referring to everyone that comes in the room as monkeys, I think is wrong.
I got that computer for $154 with tax out the door.
So $154 with tax out the door is what this went for. So it fails the one-hand open test.
The retail on it was $958.
So $958 supposedly for this Lenovo. Lenovo is, I'm not saying from you supposedly, I'm saying from Lenovo. Lenovo is really bad about saying, look at this great deal because you can get this, $1,000 laptop for $200. Well, it should have never been more than $300 to begin with.
Yeah, so it's the ThinkPad.
So it is the ThinkPad 11e Gen 5 11-inch. Mm-hmm. It comes with a Intel Celeron N4120 processor, so this should be a 4-core processor. Windows 11 Home, integrated graphics, UHD 600, 8 gigabytes of DDR4 2400 RAM that is soldered on, a 128 gigabyte SSD M.2 in a 2242 size. It is a 11.6 inch 1366 by 768 TN anti-glare non-touch LED backlight, 250 nits. Anyways,
720p HD.
So 720p. It's got wireless and Bluetooth, which is actually something that my current desktop doesn't have. But I'm okay with that. All right, so we'll go over to the chat real quick before we power it on. You have some potatoes? Oh, that's awesome. I never got into the potatoes. I wanted to just so I could say I had something running on a potato. But that's, why I got into these things, because you really couldn't find, I got into these because of the dual NICs, but you really couldn't find Raspberry Pis at the time. So the same price point, $70 for the generic one, as low as $20 for the T11, so there were options out there of x86 machines. And after my experience with Odroid, I really thought that if it's not a Raspberry Pi, the ecosystem just really isn't built out very well. So if I got something else, and the x86 route has been, it's going to work, let's just say. All right, so how do we turn this thing on? Well, I guess let's look at the outside.
Have you plugged it in?
No, I haven't plugged it in. I expect to be shipped with a charge. A spot for a Kensington lock, USB-C, USB-A. It's got super speed, cool headphone jack, nothing on the back. And over here we've got that funky power connector, an actual Ethernet jack. I think that was missing from the other one. HDMI port, a USB port that's got a picture of a mouse but says super speed. Oh no, that's a battery. So super speed power delivery maybe. And then an SD card slot. All right. What is... Carrie, you're saying that you have a bunch of mini PCs?
Ship them to us.
Yeah. If you go to the About page, there should be a email inquiry. So if you can, just send me an email and we can talk about which ones you have. And if you'd like to, donate one for the cause or whatever whatever it may be, or I could always review it and send it back to you. So that'd be pretty cool. So they have, okay, well, I'm curious why when so many people are going to USB-C, why Lenovo would stick with something like this.
Well,
but
that's an older model. So it may be that a lot of these that we get really inexpensive on Lenovo are a couple of years old. And if you think USB-C really has been in the past 12 months or so. So it's possible that these haven't gone USB-C just because when we get them, they're an older.
I mean, that's possible, but the other model we got was USB-C, and USB-C power, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of the oddities. It's nothing that bad. I just have to keep up with this charger.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they're still making the 11E computers or not.
Well, I mean, there's a ThinkPad Yoga 11E Gen 5 right now for $249. It's normally $1,100.
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but so I mean, Lenovo, I can say that they're selling them. I don't know if they're still making them.
The 11E.
So I don't know. Let's see what happens when we hit the power button.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I'm gonna go. This one needs to be plugged in. So
well, we've also had that for a couple months.
I know. Yeah.
So they could have shipped it with a charge. Let's see. Yeah, they've got. I mean, right now they've got a couple of the ThinkPad Yoga 11E Gen 5s for between $229 and $250, and I'll say that mine is actually. It's a higher end yoga, but it's really great to turn it into a tablet. And it comes with a stylus that stores in the computer. And I absolutely love this size, but they've got 3 of those at 75% off tonight, actually. I know that price will likely be good through the weekend based on what I've seen in the recent past with them when they do their sale prices like this.
Okay. All right, cool. So no, we don't have any agreement with Lenovo, no sponsorship or anything like that, but my wife has managed to gift me her last 2 laptops. So one is an HP and one is a Dell. So now she's going to Lenovo.
And they were both almost the highest end you could get at the time at which they were ordered.
Yeah.
Because I had a need for dedicated graphics.
Yeah.
And
the HP, it doesn't have a dedicated graphics, but this one does. It's got RTX 1030 or something like that in there. I don't know. It's not. It's like a 16. One of these days I'll do a video on it because I have replaced the power connector, I've replaced the battery on it, and eventually I'm going to install a new SSD and install Windows 11 on it.
Yeah, but before we got my ThinkPad about 7 or 8 months ago, We pretty much have been sticking with HP or Dell for the last 10 years roughly. And no matter what, as soon as we hit that 3 year mark, they went out. And I have a very good friend who is into laptops in a very significant way, who highly recommended I give a ThinkPad a try. So I have, and I could not be more pleased with it actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if Lenovo wants to start sponsoring and sending us laptops, that would be okay with me too.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Carrie, that actually sounds pretty cool. I would be interested to see what you have, and give it a whirl. I won't say that I'm lacking for ideas. I just need good ideas. Like right now, I'm looking for a unicorn. That's the working title of it. The HP 800. I'm sorry, the HP ProDesk 600 G4 that I ran Linux on for a month. It pulls 3 watts from the wall at idle, and I cannot believe it. 3 and 4 watts idle at the wall with network going. And I want to find an Elite desk that I can do that with, as the cat jumps at a frog on the window. So that's why I've ordered another G3 Elite desk. Actually, I've got 2 G3 Elite desks, and I have a motherboard from a G5 that I'll swap one of those out with. And I'm just looking for an Elite desk that will pull less than 10 watts from the wall at idle. And I know it's possible because I have a G2 Elite desk that does.
Well,
So,
I mean, I found your unicorn, $600, but I found your unicorn.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to go the cheaper route, but we'll see.
I'm very thankful you're trying to go the cheaper route. That does not disappoint me in any manner of speaking.
Yeah, so Froggy T White. Why do I keep on calling you Froggy T White? Froggy T Wright. Okay, sorry about that. English is my first language, but I did learn to read in the South. They say that they like their higher end yoga laptop and tablet convertibles.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have, and I absolutely love it.
TVJ says, sorry, you stepped away for a second. Now the name Goodmonkey makes sense. Yeah. The channel name, yeah, Not Terrible by Goodmonkey. Yes, I remember when ThinkPads were made by IBM too, so.
Yes, I do too.
Yep, and I've used a few throughout the years.
Yeah, I do really like this one.
TVJ says, wives who buy tech products are amazing.
Well, so should you tell them a little about my tech background, or should we just let that remain a mystery for today?
We're coming up close on an hour, so we'll save that one for another time. Maybe by then she'll have her YouTube channel set up too.
Well, I'll give you a preview, and in that preview, it entails the fact that over 20 years ago, I was outsmarting my parents to get on the internet on AOL 2.0. And at that time, 56K dial, that was super fast. So that started me in tech. And now I do actually quite a bit with technology, both personal and professionally.
So hope y'all could hear that. All right, Nobody23 says, I believe someone mentioned a safety feature on some laptops where it ships in a power setting that won't allow it to boot unless it's plugged in or something like that. Oh. I mean, that's possible. I don't remember with the last one if I plugged it in.
I think you did.
Maybe I did. We can try that real quick. Ooh, I've got a new feature. Let's see if this works. So the text there that says we'll be right back, it's a terrible color for the background. So just playing in OBS, trying out some stuff. I'm not a professional. All right. The brick is plugged in and we still have lights, so that's a good thing. Don't ask.
Make some more noise, please.
All right.
And Buttercup is still over here chasing her frog.
Yep.
On the window.
All right. So it is plugged in. We don't need our BRB anymore. And power button was here. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, we got a red light. It's sentient. Lenovo. All right. So it looks like it will work. Maybe, possibly. So, yeah. So this will be another project. But the question is, should I do a direct comparison with this one versus the other one like I did with the B-Link systems initially? I think that sounds like a good project. Yeah, nobody. That's what my wife said, that she thinks that we had to plug the other one into.
Yeah.
And I may have just done it instinctively. Or, yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't remember exactly. And as far as Chromebooks, I've only really dealt with one, and that's after coming back. My daughter has a Chromebook. But in my new job, I'll be dealing a lot with Chromebooks, so I'm sure I'll learn a lot there. Okay. Older x86 Chromebooks. Let's see. That's possible. If I didn't already have like 12 HP Pro and Elite Desk systems and I don't know, 8 or 9 mini PCs. Look at that. Windows 11 is starting. Cool. All right, it's probably a good point to just shut it down. Okay, I want to catch up on the comments again. Let's see. Nobody believed that he read on a comment for the $99 when we had to plug it in.
To set up your device
What?
using a screen reader, turn on narrator by pressing Windows.
It's sentient!
Features. Press Windows plus U, or select the accessibility icon in the bottom corner.
I don't know.
I thought I shut you off. Apparently not.
Yeah, you failed. That's for tonight, folks. We'll be back next time.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Froggy T. Wright says, a wild guess to be working in the education field. That is a very good guess. Carrie said, in the properties of the text items in OBS, scroll down and there are more options, one called opacity, and slide that slider the other way. So if we were to do that, well, the text already is full, but if I do HDMI, can I make the HDMI? Can I? Opacacy? No, opacacy? The opacacy, is that a word? I don't know. Anyways, and I'll play with it more later. So.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I don't know. It's a Friday night at late.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Check with me on Tuesday.
Yeah. So this one, I mean, I could do something like this if I was going to be back, or go away. I could do this and then turn the display off, and it would be there like that. And then I could actually, I would have to remember, like if I was having to go yell at a kid, remember to turn the microphone off. So, but
I had that happen in a Zoom meeting the other day, and they're like, "Oh, you should have left it on. We wanted to hear what you had to say."
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I think we probably need to start wrapping things up. So, because TVJ has to go. Thanks, Jay, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Froggy T. Wright. Yeah, fleet management of Chromebooks. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, the text item I had there for the Be Right Back, that was a source set up in OBS. So I'm just proud enough that I figured out scenes and actually had a pre-roll screen and a post-roll screen. So, but yeah, again, if you haven't already liked the video, please do. Those things do help. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I do like looking at the chat and commenting and talking. It really is fun for me, and it's more fun than the tech, and I really have fun with tech too. So thank you everyone. If you don't log out immediately, you might see my post roll. The reason for doing pre-roll and post rolls is to highlight some of the music that I've used as background music, bringing it into the foreground, actually sharing it with you. It may not be your taste. That is okay. You can let me know that, or turn your volume off, or cut out, or I do want you to come back, and I do appreciate feedback too. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Maybe next time we'll be outside or some other setting or something like that. If you get a chance, go over and check out Retired AF Guy. That's my other channel. I need to do more with that too, though it'll be more random and less tech centric. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a great night. I hope that it's not terrible.